The only thing that the taser does is it jams the neuromuscular system, is what it does. And all it basically does is basically takes the person's neuromuscular and incapacitates it, which tenses up. So what you're going to see happen here is you're going to see Donna tense up. And what's going to happen is Donna's going to get taken to the ground, and then we'll remove the probes further, and we'll do that for her. And then when she goes now, I'm going to taser, and there should kind of on the front. Once you're down, stay there. Right? This? So we'll go this way. Yeah, you guys will face that.
Okay, now when the officer deploys, just tell him when you deploy a taser, how you give the warning.
Okay, obviously, like the chief said, at all times, we don't, when you deploy the taser, like if we're, you guys can just watch for a quick second. When we're deploying the taser, or the officer's there by themselves, like the chief said, if Donna was coming at me with a knife, I could use deadly force. I could transition to my handgun and use deadly force. 9 times out of 10, we usually have, well, I shouldn't say that, 50% of the time we usually have a secondary officer who's there. Anytime someone utilizes the taser, there is lethal backup. Meaning if the taser fails, because we are dealing with an emotionally disturbed person, and the taser fails and it's still coming at us with a knife, unfortunately we need to do what we need to do at that point and take that person down. And we may have to go to deadly force. So this does not always work, okay? We can miss because the probes that come out of here are 2 probes that come out of here. They spread. The top probe is where the laser dot goes. So the top probe comes out. It'll go right where that dot is. The secondary probe that comes out goes off on an 8-degree angle. Meaning, if I put this dot on Donna's upper back, the other probe will be at this distance, probably anywhere between 6 and 12 inches lower than the top probe where the dot is. So like we're saying, it's not necessarily always going to work, and that's why we have lethal backup. So anytime we go to deploy it, like the chief said, we do put the laser dot on somebody, and that does stop people almost instantaneously, because if you've ever been tased with this, they don't want to take the ride again for the second time. But if it doesn't, and they're going at it, you have to deploy the taser.
When the taser's deployed, how many second bursts do they get automatic?
They get a 5-second automatic burst, which can be disconnected at any given time. If I pull the trigger and it goes for 5 seconds, I can turn it off after 3. But if I just let it go, it's 5 seconds and stops after 5 seconds. The only time it gets deployed again is if I pull the trigger again. Okay? So it's not like the taser just continuously keeps going. Okay? All right. Anytime we deploy the taser, we have to let them know we're deploying the taser. So we do say taser, taser, taser. Not only for the suspect, but for the guys around us. Because last thing we want is for Rogers or for Del Mastro here to get in front of me tasering somebody. So we have to, give them that warning. Just like we give a warning with OC, and we don't give any warning with baton. Baton comes out, unfortunately it's on. But with OC, we let people know that we're doing OC as well. Again, that's for our guys more than anything else. All right? Ready? Hold it right up underneath there. I won't make you turn it because that would go this way. Down, you good? Stand by. Taser, taser, taser. Down, forward, forward. Okay. Stay there, don't move. All right. This is the way it is, Donna. Unfortunately, I'm just going to keep you there for a second. All right. This is how the taser gets deployed. You see the 2 probes that are in her upper back. All right. How do you feel right now?
I'm exhausted.
Exhausted. What it does is it takes the fight out of you. Okay? All right, now, everyone's getting this misconception that after the 5 seconds is done, you're still getting pain. It's 5 seconds. Once the 5 seconds is done, it's done. Yeah, you feel exhausted. You feel that you've gone through like a run or something like that. But outside of that, there is no other pain or any other thing that's going on. The only other thing that she's going to have there is when I go to pull the probes out. When I go to pull the probes out, the actual probes themselves do cauterize the area, so there should be very minimal bleeding at all. And all we do is remove the probes, and what we usually do is we usually handcuff somebody in this position. What the taser allows us to do is I'll maintain the cartridge while these 2 guys would be him here handcuffed. We don't want to expose this person to any more harm or any more pain, because once this is done, we take them into custody, and once they're in handcuffs, it's done. It's over. Okay? We take the fight out of them. 5 seconds. As opposed to us pepper spraying somebody, which is a 45 minutes, almost a 3-hour contamination, not only for them, but for everybody else. Or, God forbid, we have to go to a baton strike. If I had to just start, hitting Donna with a baton strike, we're going to have other issues there.